like the studio atmosphere? Did it seem magic and electric, or dull and tedious? Or
Oh no, it was riveting. And at the time, I was just so thrilled to be there. Felt so privileged to be, because they didn't let, till Yoko came along, they didn't let wives and friends. This is in the studio, sitting with them.
Right.
Obviously, friends could come, like Mick Jagger would come and sit in the box, the soundproof studio box, and they could look down, sit with George Martin or Jeff Merrick, was he called?
Jeff Emmerich, yeah.
Emmerich, the other people. So sitting down with them, with the roadies. And I used to think, even if I never get the book published, if we fall out or they chuck me out, I will have been there. I'll be there watching the creative juices flowing.
Well, what a time to be there.
Yeah.
There's that great
But of
picture
course I
of you.
didn't know. Yes.
You and Neil Aspinall with your
I
headphones
know,
on,
yes.
listening to in
What
that
happened was I
magazine.
never got myself photographed with the Beatles at the time. It's strange it didn't happen. I got photographed when Paul came to have a holiday with us in 68, 69, whatever. But on that train to Bangor, and getting off the train at Bangor with them, when the roadies weren't there, I would love to, there must be a photograph somewhere of me hanging around the background, but I've never seen them. No, I was thrilled at the time, but I have to admit, in 68, 69, I didn't think they'd be as big today, 30 years later. I thought other people would come along, and the Beatles wouldn't be forgotten, and their songs would be sung, but I never thought that they would never be bettered. I expected they'd be bettered by an equally creative group who would come along and write 150 songs that would still be singing. And that hasn't happened. I didn't have the girls and the sex life because they all had other wives or stable girlfriends. So I had none of that, that was all. So apart from that, it was true. And I had Brian described as a gay bachelor, so that was a code way of doing it.
Well, John lashed out at everything in that interview.
That's true,
You hurt
yes.
George Martin's feelings
quite
a bit in that one too.
And Paul's.
And
Worst of all.
needless to say. But it skirts around Jane Asher. It's almost like they have an agreement not to talk about each other.
Well, she has never talked ever. I admire her for that.
Yeah.
About the Beatles. She's apart from Neil Aspinall, those are the only two people that have never given interviews or written books or in any way cashed in on the Beatles' lives, who are close to them. Everybody else, in fact, I can't think of anybody who hasn't had their say. He's made it, to me, clear between the lines that he was much in love with her family and the house and the setup as he was with Jane. He was enchanted by the lifestyle, how they lived in that big house, and professors and people coming and going, and the way they lived and their vaguely middle-class bohemian life. He was enchanted by it. And in a way it was slightly being socially mobile. He felt he'd moved up a class, you know, moving in with these people. And the same when he started buying Magritte and he started buying paintings, he was bettering himself.
So maybe when he moved to Cavendish and
that was part of it.
Less.
Yeah, that was part of it. All the other three moved to the boring stockbroker Nouveau Riche area of Weybridge. Have you been to that area?
I have, yeah.
And you know, it's the people that have made it. It's first generation wealthy people live there. Whereas moving to St John's Wood is upmarket and classy. That's your intellectual, you know, area, and that was part of that syndrome. Christmas time. Can you see that, Julian?
Zoom in on this.
And Paul's got a beard. Can you see?
Yeah, this is
and that's Linda, and that was Heather, the child by the first bloke.
Oh yeah.
So she arrived with Heather, and that bloke you saw in the back garden, Jake, that's him there.
That's him.
He was blonde, so one of your boys will grow up.
Isn't that neat?
And that's Margaret, and that's Kate, and you haven't seen her. You put the hair on, can't be bothered getting it up, that's a magnet, and you pick up the hair and you move the hair around, so you make them bald or you make them hairy. That was taken by Linda in Portugal by us, and she used it as a thing. That's Paul, and that's me, and it's mine by Linda. This is fascinating. This is Merseybeat, and if you close in on it, the date is, well, Glenn, 1964. And look at the caption.
62, yeah.
The caption. Left to right, okay? It says Beatles sound record. Left to right, Pete Best, George Harrison, John Lennon, Paul McCarthy.
Oh my God!
He was so relatively
In Mersey
unknown.
Beat.
In
That's
Mersey
strange, you know,
Beat.
Bill Harry would.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, that's very bad, yeah.
Gee.
Open that if you like. That's roughly there, every edition in every language of the Beatles biography. You can see it. That's the letter from, that's the envelope from John, the letters in the British Museum, which he addresses to White Hunter Davies. Do you remember?
Oh,
They sent it to the publisher and it got sent on.
that is so cool. That's just really.
That's a letter from, that's a letter from me to Brian Epstein asking to do the book. That's Ringo's dad telling me off for spelling the name Starkey instead of Starkey. I spelt it with an IE.
Uh-oh.
It was so hard to track this bloke down. I found him in Crewe because he and the mother split up when he was a baby or a little boy, and he'd become a window cleaner in Crewe. And he never gave interviews and never, unlike Alfie Lennon,
Right.
who came back and cashed in.
Wow.
This is the original thing, typewritten by, this is in the book, typewritten by Brian, about all the dates they were going to do in 1962. That's just a copy. I got that from George. And here's the originals, the absolute total originals of these famous photographs,
Beautiful.
which you'll have seen. That's an original, and that one there is an original. It's got scrappy. This is my favourite. These are polyphotos. Did you call them that in America?
Oh.
You went to do a booth.
Right.
Yeah.
And
The
they-
little do-it-yourself.
Isn't that lovely?
That's
What a
beautiful.
sweet
That's in the
little
new
He
one.
was sweet.
That's it, yeah. And these are all original prints.
Those are the. Oh my God.
That is so
This is another original sheet, and this tells them all to turn up in suits and be clean and be on time and everything. This is the original contract, their first contract in 1961 with Burt Camford in, and John Lennon is called and Pete Best said it, the leader of the group. Here are these famous
Oh my.
thingamajig photographs in Hamburg, and these are the original snaps.
These are great. Look at that.
They're just snaps taken from them. I used them in the book. And there's that funny one with them wearing underpants and standing in the street. You filming all this?
Yes. No, that's all right.
And there's the back of it. Look at that one there. Me sightseeing John.
Oh, look at
Letter
that.
from Brian. These are photostats of the stuff that's in the British Library.
Wow.
That's a letter from George to me. This is one of my favourite things. I'll just show you. Look at this, it's the Emperor Hirohito or something. John sent this to me when he was with the Maharishi out in India. We're still in the same house, look. Hunter and Thingy Davis.
Wow.
11 Boscastle Road. Dear Hunters, thanks for letter. Wish you were here, there and everywhere. Many blessings on you. May all your children, lots of love and maybe see you. It's, and I think that's Gear World or Gear Whack. And that's John and Sin, C-Y-N.
Wow. That's really
Those are
amazing.
postcards from Paul after he stayed with us in Portugal. This is my original notes when I came back from the Sergeant Pepper photographic session at sort of 2 in the morning. I would come back on my old-fashioned typewriter, would knock out all notes on what happened that day, and you can see me saying, "Here we are." At the side of the studio was standing Hitler. They had been persuaded not to have him. Nor Jesus either. Last time mentioned Jesus, look what happened.
That's right.
So this is notes to myself. And that's the letter from John.
That
More
is
letters from John.
cool.
Letters from Paul.
Wow, what an experience.
Unbelievable.
So you're probably right, that probably is my best memorabilia.
That's amazing.
That's fantastic.
Really amazing.
That's the one signed by Little Richard to John.
Oh my.
I use that in the book. And John got his autograph. That's other programs and tickets. That's the Beatles in America. For some reason, when they took the photographs of them in America, they made them look more American. I mean, don't you think so?
Yeah.
He looks American, and the teeth have been clean. Look at that smile. You never look like that. There you see. And that's the advert
Oh, for your
for
book.
my book from the Beatles Monthly.
No, on the really just.
I'm gonna stand on it.
How's it feel to be in Hunter Davies' house?
Boring.
Oh, Julian. Look behind you. That's him listening to the Beatles making Sgt. Pepper in the studio. He's on the right there. He signed it Winston as a joke for him. And you see these pictures on the far end here? Down here at the bottom. Those are all pictures of the Beatles and their wives taken by Ringo. And Ringo had to set the timer and then jump back into the picture the way we do for that top one. And those are the original prints.
Everything ready to go.
So that's all the books, what I have written in my life.
Wow.
Not everything. From there, there, and all except the Beatles. The Beatles aren't there.
Look at that.
And that's my next book out next month.
Oh, goodness.
It's a football one.
That's great.
And this is the one out that's out next year, I'm George Stevenson. And then I'm doing a little book with my daughter of this.
Oh, I read that you were doing that, yeah.
It's got a nice cover, which we hope to sell in America.
Well, that should be a fun book.
Yeah. To clap. Thinking of John. To Julia. Julia. Yeah?
Yeah.
And Glenn's got two ends.
Two ends, right. Oh, so nice of you.
Right, shall I sign it then?
Oh, that'd be
Please.
great.
I'll put Glenn first this time.
Okay,
so you don't fight.
that'll be special.